Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
You were going to propose? You, a puppet.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too.
Exactly. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now.
Okay, Mr. Wright. Please continue with your cross-examination.
Aw, did you hear that? His eyes seemed a little wistful. That's a little vague. Hold it! What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull! The only thing that could match Regina's beauty! Answer his question, what was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring! An engagement ring? Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Let's push on anyway. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. What the? I advise you to cut this argument short.
I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. Okay, so that's been added. Which means that we have a little bit of a contradiction here. It's not a contradiction that this witness knows about, necessarily. Maybe you seem to have forgotten about it. It's still in the pocket, huh? Well then why do I have this here? Objection! Trillo, do you mind if I show you something?
What is it?
What are you talking about? Uh-oh, looks like they're gonna double-team me now. Do you recognize this ring? Ah, that's mine! Give it back! Thief! Thief! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? I love how that animation just happens multiple times and nobody gives a shit.
What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Huh? Don't put me on the spot like that, Trillo.
I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? You mean a room they put money, like a bank vault?
Ha! That filthy monkey's gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then.
Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up.
Shiny things?
Trillo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, you know, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details, I need more details.
Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza.
Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might be able to say that. The ring might as well could have been taken around that time. Man, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trillo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing! Not I, Mr. Trillo Quist!
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trillo?
You know exactly what I did! I chased after that ring-snatching monkey money!
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault! While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away!
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Proof an important point? What point could that possibly be?
There is a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony.
Contradiction?
The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza!
What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours?
I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Wright.
Well, so tell me this, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Do you have any proofs that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist?
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene.
However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive.
The witness is lying! He is blinded by his rivalry with Max! Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him! No doubt about it! I saw that worthless liar!
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
Ha! I've told you so many times! You'd think you'd know my story's not changing.
You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it will change some more.
Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it.
Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah. I'll give you what I was waiting for that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max at the plaza that night. He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right! Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max.
Then Money snatched the ring, and you went chasing after him. How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose, 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Not right. Yep. You see, something's not right here. Because I have this. Objection!
Trillo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder?
A fight?
A fight over Regina, to be exact.
It wasn't that big of a deal, it was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head.
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Before he handles that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first.
The truth is that on that day of the crime, the defendant and the witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening.
Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on the stand. There is no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival.
Objection!
say this witness is lying? That he has tried to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene?
I didn't tell a single lie, honestly, I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
let's clarify this testimony for the court.
Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? He saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to.
What kind of theory is that?
The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all.
What?
If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trillo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it.
What in the world? You...
Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trillo saw that evening, then?
It was... the victim. Considering the ill temper of this witness, there's only one person he would greet.
It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute.
No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trillo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah, I suppose you got a point there.
It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not?
You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trillo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quest. How many times has that particular animation happened? Seriously.
Order! Order! How do you respond to this?
Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man, but once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica, or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry?
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols.
3 symbols? Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you gotta remember them by now. Here we go again, everyone, all together now. Oh, shoot.
Yes, we know, the silk hat, cloak, and white roses.
A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me.
What was that?
Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry.
What?
Miss Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well,
If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one.
That is very unfortunate.
Huh?
You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, right?
What do you mean by that?
You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but...
What?
Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness.
Huh?
Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime!
Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.
So we will continue this next time. See you then.